Monsoon session of Rajya Sabha adjourned sine die 8 days ahead of scheduled time. Lok Sabha likely to follow suit. India-China agree to avoid misunderstandings and misadjustments. Stop sending more troops to frontline. COVID-19 scenario remains unchanged in Northeast. Meghalaya says the pandemic has hurt state finances. India records highest number of recovered COVID cases globally. Bharat Biotech announces vaccine pact with US institution. And Nagaland launches online portals for a giant leap towards welfare education. Good evening viewers, welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin. This is Anupa, now with the details. In news from Parliament first, Rajya Sabha was today adjourned sine die 8 days ahead of scheduled time of the monsoon session in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. The session, which had begun on September 14, was scheduled to end on October 1. In his remarks, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu said that 25 bills were passed and 6 were introduced in the upper house during the 10-day session. He said the productivity of the house was over 100%. The Lok Sabha also is likely to adjourn sine die today itself. Parliament has passed the 3 labour code bills for the welfare and protection of the workers. Rajya Sabha gave its note to these bills today, while the Lok Sabha had already passed it on Tuesday. The bills were Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020, the Industrial Relations Code 2020 and the Code on Social Security 2020. Rajya Sabha has also returned the Appropriation Bills 2020 without any discussion. India and China had candid and indirect changes on views of stabilizing the situation along the line of actual control in the India-China border areas. The Indian and Chinese senior commanders held the 6th round of military commander-level meeting on Monday. The joint press release of the meeting said the two sides had agreed to earnestly implement the important consensus reached by the leaders of the two countries, strengthen communication on the ground, avoid misunderstanding and misadjustments, stop sending more troops to the front line, refrain from unilaterally changing the situation on the ground and avoid taking any actions that may complicate the situation. The two sides also agreed to hold the 7th round of military commander level meeting as soon as possible, take practical measures to properly solve problems on the ground and jointly safeguard peace and tranquility in the border area. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now chairing a high-level virtual meeting with the Chief Ministers and Health Ministers of 6 COVID high-burden states and Union Territory to review the status and preparedness of their response and management. More than 63% of the active cases of the country are concentrated in the 6 states and a Union Territory. These states are Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Punjab and Union Territory of Delhi. In the corona update from the region, Arunachal Pradesh has reported altogether 7,844 cases with 5,778 recoveries and 14 deaths. Manipur has reported altogether 9,280 cases with 6,887 recoveries and 60 deaths. The number of cases in Meghalaya has reached 4,791 with 2,706 recoveries and 38 deaths. In Mizoram, there are altogether 1,713 cases with 1,023 recoveries. Nagaland had reported altogether 5,604 cases with 4,517 recoveries and 15 deaths. Sikkim has a total of 2,594 cases with 2,009 recoveries and 29 deaths. Lastly, Tripura had recorded the highest number of 23,338 cases with 16,486 recoveries and 253 deaths. In Meghalaya, Health Minister A.L. Hek has admitted that the pandemic has taken a toll on the state exchequer with the inflow of central funds to the state so far apparently not quite adequate. Speaking to reporters in Shillong, the health minister said the expenditure made by the state health department in taking care of COVID-19 positive patients too had not been as certain. As far as the compensation to the families of the disease is concerned, he said that the state government does not provide compensation in COVID-19 related deaths. Responding to criticism that people were skeptical of the COVID-19 tests, he admitted that the tests are not accurate.
nuru berkat tanpa compensation. Yero nuru kibaya pun tahu COVID. Bahadu benda kibaya pun orang itu 99.9% kidan dari comorbidity. Kemudian direct bahawa yo COVID yang tidak lupa lagi pang pero agam itu ulaka.
Meghalaya Chief Secretary MS Rao on Tuesday convened a meeting with Defence Forces and discussed about the pandemic and other health issues in the state with them. Officials from different paramilitary and armed forces, including the Border Security Force, Assam Rifles, Indian Air Force and Indian Army attended the meeting and discussed various strategies to contain COVID-19. Later, Commissioner and Secretary of the Health Department, Sampath Kumar, said the meeting dwelt on various COVID protocols and norms, including rules for quarantine.
This is about to discuss about various protocols that have been issued and how actually the armed forces and paramilitary forces are following. It's a kind of a review just to understand how they're actually implementing, if they have any constraints, especially in terms of sampling, testing and quarantine. So this is about to get to know like how actually they are implementing different protocols that have been issued by the state government.
In the Corona update from Assam, Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma in a tweet said altogether 2,730 persons tested positive during the last 24 hours, the positivity rate being 6.99%. The total number of COVID-19 cases in the state now stands at 1,61,393 with 1,30,947 recoveries. The death toll has increased to 586. New COVID recoveries in India has exceeded the new cases for the fifth consecutive day. In all, 89,746 recoveries were registered in the last 24 hours, whereas the number of new confirmed cases stands at 83,347. The recovery rate reached 81.25% today. India has the highest recovered cases in the world. It contributes 19.5% to the global recoveries. 17 states and union territories have more recoveries than new cases. 75% of the new recovered cases are being reported from Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Delhi, Kerala, West Bengal and Haryana. Maharashtra continues to lead with more than 20,000 daily recoveries. Across the globe, the total number of COVID-19 cases had risen to 3,18,16,647, whereas 2,34,20,714 people have recovered till date. Meanwhile, the death toll rose to 9,76,021. India is currently in the second place in terms of cases, while Brazil has registered 45,95,335 cases. The US accounted for the world's highest number of cases at 70,98,291. Vaccine innovator Bharat Biotech announced today a licensing agreement with Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis for a novel chimp adenovirus single-dose intranasal vaccine for COVID-19. Bharat Biotech owns the rights to distribute the vaccine in all the markets except the USA, Japan and Europe. While the Phase 1 trials will take place in St. Louis University Vaccine and Treatment Evaluation Unit, Bharat Biotech, upon obtaining the required regulatory approval, will pursue further stages of clinical trials in India and undertake large-scale manufacture of the vaccine and its GMP facility located in Genome Valley, Hyderabad. In Assam, Chief Minister Hobananda Sonowal today launched the Mukhya Mantri Gramya Parivahan Asoni and distributed vehicles under the scheme to beneficiaries at a program held in Assam Administrative Staff College, Guwahati. The scheme aims to improve rural connectivity and generate employment in the villages. Speaking on the occasion, the Chief Minister urged the beneficiaries to create success stories of self-reliance and entrepreneurship through the vehicles received under the scheme. Minister of Transport Sondra Mohan Patwari in his speech remarked that the scheme is envisaged to bridge the gap in the last mile connectivity in villages while generating employment opportunities.
Gramya Parivahan Yojanar বিষয়ে আৰু ইয়াৰ মূল উদ্দেশ্য হৈছে যে গাঁও অঞ্চলত মানে ইখন গাঁও মানে লাষ্ট মাইল কানেক্টিভিটি যেটো আমি কওঁ তো সেই উদ্দেশ্য আগত ৰাখি আসলে মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী এই আঁচনিখন ঘোষণা কৰিছিল।
In news from Nagaland, Principal Secretary School Education Minokhol John today launched the online Teachers Transfer Portal, Teachers Portal and the Child Protection Policy for School, while State Mission Director Homogra Siksha Kuveleno launched the School Safety and Security Pledge and Guidelines at the Secretariat Conference Hall, Kohima. In his speech, Menokhol John said that with the launch of these portals, the department has taken a giant leap towards the welfare education system in the state. In Assam Press Information Bureau, Guwahati today organized a webinar on Poshan Abhiyan as part of the 3rd Rashtriya Poshan Ma being celebrated across the country. Taking part as a speaker, Dr. Pranati Das, Professor Food Science and Nutrition, Assam Agricultural University, Jorhat, said strong immune system is the best defense against COVID-19. Horogobind Boro, State Project Management Unit, Poshan Abhiyan, Assam, gave a detailed briefing on the ongoing nutrition campaign. Earlier, Samrat Bandhopadhyay, Joint Director PIB Guwahati, gave the welcome address. The webinar was attended by around 60 participants. A joint team of Assam and Arunachal Police nabbed 3 persons involved in smuggling of brown sugar between the two states. A team of Jonai Police Station from Dhemaji District, Assam, and another team from Alok Police Station of West Siang District, Arunachal, conducted a joint operation. They arrested one smuggler from Dhemaji District and after his interrogation, the police team conducted another arrest of 2 more in Sibsagar District.
Brown sugar heroin বেপাৰ কৰি আছিল তেওঁক আমি কালি প্ৰথমে ধৰিছো তেওঁৰ নাম নৱজ্যোতি কামানৰ ফোনৰ যোগেদি আজি আমি ভূপেন পেগুক মাতি আনিলো আৰু ভূপেন পেগুৱে শিৱসাগৰৰ পৰা আহি আমাৰ থানাৰ জোনকাৰেং নামৰ ঠাইত ব্ৰাউন সুগাৰ ডেলিভাৰী কৰিবলৈ আহিছে।
To end the news, the headlines once again. Monsoon session of Rajya Sabha adjourned sine die 8 days ahead of scheduled time. Lok Sabha likely to follow suit. India-China agree to avoid misunderstandings and misadjustments to stop sending more troops to frontline. COVID-19 scenario remains unchanged in Northeast. Meghalaya says the pandemic has hurt the state finances. India records highest number of recovered COVID cases globally. Bharat Biotech announces vaccine pact with US institution. And Nagaland launches online portals for a giant leap towards welfare education. That brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.